What's up, everybody? Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Let's knock out a video for my Week 4 college football picks. Let's start with my favorite, Woo Pig Suey. Let's go Arkansas. I like Arkansas. Got them plus 2.5 early in the week. You can get them plus 1.5 now. Doesn't matter. Going to win outright. In fact, I think they're going to win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think they put it on. A&M, Rocket Sanders, sophomore running back, playing great football, 4th in the nation in rushing yards for the Hogs, 2nd in the country in yards from scrimmage per game, 185.7. We've got a monster advantage at the quarterback position with KJ Jefferson compared to Max Johnson. Johnson only 10 of 20 for 140 yards against Miami last week. KJ Jefferson is completing 70.5% of his passes, 770 passing yards, a 6-to-1 TDI-NT ratio. He's also run for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. Arkansas's weakness is their pass defense, but they're good against the run, 6th in the country versus the run. Small sample size, obviously. But they played Cincinnati and South Carolina before Missouri State, a FCS foe, last week. So, I think Arkansas has played, pretty tough competition compared to everybody else through 3 games. I like the Hogs. All right. I also like Clemson, -7 at Wake. Wake Forest could not run on Liberty last week. They were fortunate that Hugh Freeze's team missed a 2-point conversion late, and Wake was able to pull out a 37-36 win. But the Demon Deacons only ran for 21 yards on 26 attempts. If you can't run it against Liberty, good luck against Clemson and that killer defensive front. And by the way, Brian Breesy had a family member tragically pass away. I'm pretty sure it was his younger sister this week. So he'll be, playing while mourning and dealing with the anguish going on with his family. But, he is going to play, and I think he'll play well, and I think his teammates will be inspired by him and play well for him. And, but, that's regardless of all that. Clemson has won 13 in a row over Wake, 12 of the 13 wins by margins of 14 points or more, including the last 10. And 10 of the 13 wins have been by 20 points or more. Clemson -7 at Wake. Let's also go with UNC. I got them at +1 on Sunday night. I knew the wrong team was favored, but I still like them all the way up to -3. Should be able to get them at -1.5 right now. It's a favorable spot for the Tar Heels, who have had 2 weeks to prepare. It's also given Josh Downs time to get well. He's missed the last 2 games injured, but he's ready to go now after the open date. He was a 3rd-team All-American last season, 101 receptions, 1,335 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. And back in week 0 against FAMU, he had 2 touchdown catches. Excuse me. Now, their second-best receiver, Antoine Green, has missed the first 3 games. I don't think he's going to play, but he has practiced this week, so maybe there's a chance. But regardless, without his second-best receiver for all 3 games, without his All-American receiver and his top receiver, obviously, for the last 2 games, yet the redshirt freshman in his first 3 career starts at quarterback, Drake May, has been legit. 74.2 completion percentage, 930 passing yards, 11 touchdown passes compared to only 1 interception, and he's also making plays with his legs. 146 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and a 5.6 yards per carry average. Now, UNC has issues on defense, big time, but Notre Dame has equal the amount of issues on offense. And Notre Dame was fortunate to beat Cal. They got that phantom nonsense, straight up bullshit call on the offsides on the missed field goal. They missed the field goal. Should have been Cal's ball. You can clearly see on all the replays. You can go on Twitter, just do a Twitter search, Cal offsides. They will show you the video clip of it. They will show you pictures with the ball already snapped. Nobody on the Cal line is lined up in the neutral zone. Nobody moved. And what was so crazy was they called the offside on number 15, who's at the top of your screen, and he is literally furthest back from the line of scrimmage than the rest of his code defenders, and they called it on him. I hope that ref is suspended this week. Cal got hosed. So anyway, enough of that. North Carolina's the play. All right, let's go over 33.5 in the first half for Vandy, Alabama. Both teams. I think Alabama has 35 on its own in the first half. And I will be playing it for the game as well, over 58.5. But I like it better in the first half because we know Alabama starters will be in the first half. Once they get a lot of separation, Saban has a tendency to pull his starters. And they do have a big game at Arkansas next week, which they're, by the way, a 15.5 point favorite in the look-ahead lines at DraftKings. So, but in terms of the game, the over is 4-0 for Vandy, combined scores of 73, 73, 70, and 66. And A.J. Swan, first career start last week, 255 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He leads the Doors to a 38-28 win at Northern Illinois, and they go over their season win total in mid-September. So kudos. I wasn't one of them. Wish I was. Those of you that backed Vandy over either 2 or 2.5 wins, congrats. Cash that ticket. And, if Vandy's offense can't score on Bama's starters, they're going to get the chance to score on their backups in the second half. And I'm not saying they can't get a touchdown or 3 against Bama's starters, but I feel pretty good that they'll get 14-17 for the game, especially if they're facing Bama's backups, for a good chunk of the second half. So I like it over 58.5, but I like it better in the first half over 33.5. Another first half total, I'm going to go Charlotte, South Carolina over 34.5. Now, I would like it up to 35.5. No, sir. But if it's 30, hopefully 34.5 or fewer, and I'll still play it at 35. I think push will be worst case scenario. But Chris Reynolds is back now for Charlotte. He came back. He'd missed 2.5 games, getting hurt in the first half of the opener against FAU. Threw for 401 yards and 5 touchdowns, including the game winner with 17 seconds left at Georgia State last week. Charlotte's last 2 games have had 49 and 41 points at halftime. Forget that South Carolina got blanked offensively by top-ranked Georgia. This Charlotte defense is not Georgia's defense, nor is it the 85 Bears defense. In fact, Charlotte's dead last in America in total defense, giving up 565.5 yards per game, 131 out of 131 FBS teams. In pass defense, number 128. Defending the run and scoring defense, they're number 129. They give up 45.3 points per game. So, in review, we have Arkansas is my favorite play. Clemson's my second favorite. North Carolina's my third favorite. And then, for equal amounts, Florida plus 10.5. They've won 16 of the last 17 against Tennessee with 11 wins by double-digit margins. I think Anthony Richardson's going to run more this week. That'll get his confidence going again. Florida plus 10.5 for 11. And then Vandy, Alabama over 33.5 or 34 in the first half. Charlotte, South Carolina over 34.5 in the first half. And I think that's it. Right? That is it. I'm Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. We've got a lot of fresh content up. We've got Blake's preview of Florida, Tennessee, and Wake Forest, Clemson. I get a breakdown of the Week 5 look-ahead lines for next week from DraftKings. There's 9 of them. I've got my Week 4 primer on the way, not there yet, and lots of my power rankings and lots of other great content. Be sure to check us out. And Blake will have his Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football previews coming in either later today or tomorrow. I'll have them up. Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Over and out.